USC here in this ball game, and SC's error has allowed the Gauchos to continue the inning and score a run. This inning began, Kenny Corey thrown out on a bunt, Tommy Jew walked, J.J. Muno bounced out, and then an infield single by Dempsey Grover, a base hit by Landon Silver. And an error in this inning has allowed UCSB again to take the lead 2-0. And the Gauchos with a runner at second and 2 outs. And that's Landon Silver out there with Colton Burns batting and a 3-0 count. Mason Perryman on the hill for USC. Should be out of the inning here, Bob, but because of the error, he's not.
There's an overplay in left field. You know, he's coming up making a throw when maybe he didn't have to, and the ball just get by him and allowed the run to score.
Well, good to be back on. We apologize to the folks out there watching, but we should be set to go the rest of the way. 3 balls and 1 strike. Thank you to you, Bob, and to
Marlon Mitchell.
Marlon Mitchell here. There's a back pick to second, and they got him. So Landon was caught too far off the bag, and he's out at second base, and that does it for USC. I would say we've had a break, a long enough break where we don't need to take one right now, Bob, but thank you to Marlon Mitchell with communications here at UCSB, and thank you to you and to Evan and to Tom Hastings and everybody involved here. So we'll run it down. For USC in the first inning, Brandon Perez flew out to center. Lars Newtonbar had a base hit off of Ben Breck. Adalberto Carrillo flew out to left. And Frankie Rios flew out to right. Then in the second inning for USC, Blake Sable bounced out to second. Corey Dempster doubled with 1 out. Dylan Paulson then struck out, and Brady Shockey grounded out. So that gets you up to speed with the USC Trojans. For the Gauchos in the first, Colton Burns struck out swinging. Armani Smith hit one to the wall in center field that was caught by Christian Moya. It was a couple of feet from being a home run at the most. Then Austin Bush was hit by a pitch, went to second on a wild pitch, but was stranded there when Sam Cohen struck out swinging. And as I mentioned, Kenny Corey
tried to bunt, tried to bunt for a base hit.
And then Tommy Jew, and he was thrown out. And then Tommy Jew walked, eventually scored. J.J. Muno bounced out to first base.
Yeah, Jew walked. He went to second on a wild pitch
and eventually
then moved over to third on J.J.'s ground out to first. Grover then hit a ground ball up the middle, and the Trojans were played in the 6-hole a little bit. And, Rios made a great stop, but couldn't throw him out at first, so we got the RBI on that. As we get strike 1 here, and then Silver lined a single over J.J.'s head, and Shockey came up aggressively, and the ball got by him, and then Grover came all the way around to score.
Shockey playing left field. This is Christian Moya flying out to Tommy Jew in center field for out number 1 here in the third inning. So that gets you all caught up. Thank you to Eddie Epperson, our great director, and Trevor and Greg in the control room. Everybody working hard to get us back on. Here's Perez, who flew out to center his first at bat. We want to say hi to Rick McLaughlin, a great UCSB men's volleyball coach here, sitting right behind Bob. Bob, watch your wallet.
He's feeding me peanuts.
There you go.
I'm this little monkey that just comes up here and tries to get me to do tricks by giving me peanuts.
Perez, who I mentioned, flew out in his first at bat, having a great year. Brandon hitting .326, 1 home run, 22 runs batted in. And Breck out there delivers high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ben has made some big pitches early on when he's needed to, particularly working around a 1-out base hit in the first and a 1-out double in the second. And that one just low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So Perez prepped at Mater Dei High School under the legendary coach Bert Call. He was a great shortstop there, and came to USC in plans, and I think they still have plans, but he's a shortstop. But hurt his elbow a little bit somewhere down the line, and so they decided to move him over second base and move Rios over short. And it's worked out well for them. It's a very good defensive middle infield for the Trojans.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the Trojan third. 2-0 UCSB. Perez up there. And Breck's delivery, that's high, full count. Bob, you were, before we got knocked off the air, you were mentioning an umpire change, I guess.
So
it's not what we have there.
It was labeled wrong. Jeff Heinrichs is at first base, and Ryan Bleiberg is at third base, so it's opposite of what is listed on the sheet here.
Scott Jones is the home plate umpire.
Yeah,
3-2. And JJ has got it, throws across in time. Out number 2, Muno. We've mentioned it before, we'll mention it again. He has been just fantastic at shortstop for the Gauchos after the great Clay Fisher was lost for the season with a right elbow injury and subsequent Tommy John surgery. And JJ, you can put him anywhere and he's going to perform well for you. And Muno's done a great job at short. So with 2 outs, here's Nootbaar, who singled in the first. And just missed, a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Breck's got a better fastball today. He's 84 to 88, but kind of pitching consistently at 85, 86 today.
1 ball and no strikes to Lars Nootbaar. And this one pop foul off to the left and out of play.
And the velo is better and the command is standard, which is outstanding.
Ben always commands his fastball very, very well.
And as I said earlier, his emotions as well. I think he's very, very poised for a freshman.
1-1, good pitch. Slider on the outside corner, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. And this one slapped down the left field line. That one slicing and going foul into the Gaucho bullpen area.
Good pitch by Ben off the plate, trying to get Lars to chase. Lars did a good job with 2-strike approach and fouled off a tough pitch.
So the 1-2, and that one is hit very well to left center field. Tommy Jew on the move, makes a good running catch to retire the side. Great play by Tommy on a ball that was slicing away from him. And he has that quick first step, and he used it there. So a nice inning by Ben Breck, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Gauchos here, Bob, and so far so good for UCSB, trying to make it 2 straight over USC. It was a very exciting game and a well-played game last week at beautiful Dado Field on the USC campus, where the Gauchos ended up winning the game 6-5. And USC mounted a rally in the ninth by scoring 2 runs, and they had the tying run at third with 1 out, and Shea Berry did a great job to not allow that run to score.
Yeah, that game had a lot of great things. Gauchos fell behind, then came back and took the lead, and then Trojans tried to flip the switch and do the same thing to the Gauchos, but the Gauchos hung on.
The ultimate driving machine.
All right, so we go to the bottom of the third inning here, and it will be Mason Perryman back out there for his 3rd inning of work. And Colton Burns will come back to the plate. Burns was up there when Blake Sable made a great throw to second base on a back pick to get Landon Silver. They picked Silver off. So Colton up there with a brand new count. Burns struck out swinging in his first at bat against Perryman. And Mason's pitch, this one hit off the end of the bat into the USC dugout, as Colton was way out in front of that changeup. No balls and 1 strike. The Gauchos, after today's game, will head out of town very early tomorrow morning for LAX and fly to Hawaii and play University of Hawaii Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to complete the season. Final Big West Conference series of the season. And USC will take off tomorrow for Seattle and conclude their season at the University of Washington. 3 games this weekend.
So I'm going to go advantage Gaucho trip on that one.
There's a liner foul.
Seattle's gorgeous, don't get me wrong.
Seattle is beautiful. I absolutely love Seattle.
Both places have a threat of rain.
Yeah, we're having some interesting weather around the country, aren't we? At this time of the year, there are some places around the country where it's still unseasonably cold. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Colton, and 1-2 outside, 2-2. And
well, I'm no Dr. George, but I think this is a pretty day.
This is a gorgeous day. Burns trying to get something going here in the 3rd for the Gauchos.
Or should I say I'm no Alan Rose.
And that's strike 3 called. Good pitch by Perryman on the outside corner, and Colton is out number 1. It's that good changeup that Perryman featured in his 5 innings at Dado Field last week. Gauchos really never timed that changeup very well, and he's got another good one going today.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they don't mind left-handed hitters in the lineup because that's his second best pitch, or maybe even his best pitch is that changeup. So it's better than his curveball or slurve they said he had.
Here's Smith, who flew to the wall in center field in his first at bat.
And there's that pitch right there. But so they are okay with seeing left-handers in the lineup, which is something you don't normally want when you have a right-hander. But Perryman's change is that good.
One ball, no strikes on Smith, and the pitch, Armani lays off a fastball up and in, 2-0. Well, the college students are used to getting up early anyway. I'm just not sure they're used to getting up at 5 o'clock or whatever time. I think the bus leaves at 6 tomorrow from UCSB.
They can sleep on the plane. I think they'll be okay.
And there's that changeup. Armani out in front of it. That's a great pitch by Perryman. 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 UCSB.
You know, conversely, with the right-handed hitters, right-handers don't see a changeup that often. So it also could be a very effective pitch. It's a very effective pitch anyway, when it's that good.
There's a drive out to fairly deep right center, and that is going to be caught by Dempster, out number 2.
First baseman.
Now to bring up Austin Bush, who was hit by a pitch in his first at bat.
Austin Bush.
Bush with 17 home runs this season. That leads the Big West Conference. 52 runs batted in. He also has 11 doubles. Austin has gotten it going in the last couple of months of the season. He had a good pitch to hit there, fouled it back.
And he put a good swing on it. He's just putting good swings on balls over this last 2 months, this hot streak he's been on. Really tough to fool him.
No balls and 1 strike. The outfield playing Austin to pull. And that one hit high in the air to deep right center field and way back at the fence. You can tell it goodbye. Another home run for Austin Bush, his 18th of the season, and the Gauchos lead it 3-0.
Well, I might be getting my feel for the yard back because I knew off the bat that was gone, and I didn't get your normal long drive, but I thought, well, maybe I missed that one. I didn't, and neither did Austin.
And Austin, another towering home run. He hits him so high. Dempster went back, and when Dempster broke on that ball, I thought he was going to have a play on the warning track or somewhere near the fence, and it just kept going, and there is no wind to speak of today, so that was all Austin. And here's Sammy as Cohen struck out in his first at bat, and he swings and foul tips this one into the glove of Sable. No balls and 1 strike, so.
Austin don't need no stinking wind, I'll tell you that much.
3-0 Gauchos.
His balance right now at the plate is just so good, and that was a changeup, and it was a solid changeup. It was down, but that's an Austin swing plane down there, and you know, the rest is history.
No balls and 2 strikes. Cohen having a terrific year for the Gauchos. 284, 8 home runs, 24 runs batted in, and there's a waste pitch outside from Perryman. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Perryman goes exclusively from the stretch position. And good job by Cohen to lay off that off-speed pitch in the dirt. Perryman making his 11th appearance today, his 6th start. Coming into the game, he had pitched 29 2/3 innings. Struck out 13, but one of his big bugaboos has been the base on balls. 15 walks in 29 2/3 innings coming in, and now Mason wants a new baseball.
Well, Mason didn't want one. Someone else wanted him to check it.
And the umpire wanted to check it.
No, it was someone, either
the Gaucho
Sam
dugout?
Cohen or the Gaucho dugout. That you don't see that in the college game almost ever. Nowadays, they switch balls left and right anyway, and it's a different deal in regards to that.
And Cohen fouls the 2-2 off with 2 outs here in the 3rd. 3-0 Gauchos.
Used to be when the ball was hit down in the first or third base coach picked it up. You know, the pitcher always wanted it back, but nowadays the ball just goes in the dirt one time. They exchange it out for another one.
And Cohen again stays alive. Yes, gets a piece of it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he's potentially set up for a high fastball right here, but Cohen likes high fastballs. So we'll see if they dare go there.
2-2 outside, full count of 3-2.
Unfortunately, that pitch didn't accomplish anything.
That was just the 2nd home run that Perryman has given up. Here's a ball hit just foul past first. Perryman, 2nd home run he's given up this season. The first was J.J. Muno in the 5th inning to lead off the 5th inning on Wednesday at USC. A home run by Austin Bush in this inning. And there's ball 4. That's a great at bat by Cohen.
Yeah, he's just seen that changeup so many times in his first 2 at bats. I think he's got a good eye on it now, and that came in, and he showed good discipline on it.
Here's Kenny Corey, who was out in his first at bat trying to bunt his way on. So he's 0 for 1. Three to nothing Gauchos. Austin Bush's 18th home run of the season and 53rd run batted in. Solo shot with 2 outs here in this 3rd inning. And Corey foul tips the first pitch into Sable's glove. No balls and 1 strike. Fouled back, 0-2. Over at first base, Cohen, he's a catcher by trade. They've used him in the outfield this year as well, but Sammy actually has got good speed over there. He's 3 out of 5 in stolen bases this season. And let's see what Neil Walton, our pregame guest today, has in mind here. No balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch up and away, that was kind of a
modified pitch out a little bit?
Modified pitch out, yeah. The outfield, Shockey in left, Moya in center, Dempster in right. Straight away pretty much in center and right, but Shockey a little bit toward left center, so there's a lot of room down the left field line, and Corey is an opposite field hitter. And he does a good job to stay alive here on that pitch that was dipping below the knees. That's a good pitch by Perriman.
Kenny's been swinging the bat well recently, and we talked about him leading the Gauchos in hitting during conference play. Hit some balls well this weekend, didn't get rewarded for it.
Hitting .294 overall with 7 doubles and 2 triples. But if he could poke one down that left field line, Sammy's fast enough to score from first. Here's the pitch. And there's a delayed steal, the throw to second, and they've got Cohen. Even though the throw by Sable was on the shortstop side of the bag, Rios made a very good tag. Little swipe tag, and on the delayed steal that time, it didn't fool anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you tried with a left-handed hitter in particular, you try to have that be a little bit deceptive and try to get some delay on it, but they were on it, they were anticipating it, they had good communication, and Sable came up and made a strong throw.
All right, we'll take a break here. We'll let you hear the sights and sounds from the ballpark here. 3-0 Gauchos.
2 statistical categories is Austin Bush leading the Big West Conference. With 53. Congratulations, Connor. You just won an awesome prize. Thanks for playing Gaucho Trivia. And by the way, fans, that 18th home run of the season hit by Austin Bush has officially tied the program's single-season mark.
And you're hearing Eric Evelhawk mention that Austin Bush's 18th home run that he hit last inning has officially tied the single season mark.
Tyler Von Schell.
Yep.
2001, I believe.
You're right. And here is Adalberto Carrillo. 3-0 Gauchos as Ben Breck gets set to work his 4th inning here. And Carrillo hits the first pitch hard into left field, a base hit. Armani will get it back, and USC has the leadoff man on against Ben Breck here in the 4th inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Gauchos. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for USC. So Carrillo 1 for 2 today after flying out to left. He singled sharply to left field, and Frankie Rios flew out to right field in his first at bat. Rios having a great season, hitting .354 with a home run, 25 runs batted in, .354 coming in. And he's been something as a shortstop for USC.
I was talking with Matt Curtis for the game, and he said, you know, obviously his batting average is outstanding. But he also said he's just given the best at bats, you know, all year. He just goes up there and gives you a good at bat. You know, he's a returning all Pac-12 honorable mention at second base last year when he hit .323. So he's a good player.
I think he's going to make some money playing this game.
Well, he's going to graduate. He's a redshirt junior, but he's graduating.
And he lines one to right. Coming in is Silver, and Landon got a good jump on it. They'll throw back to first. Silver's throw is offline, and Bush comes off the bag to get it. So Silver got a good jump on that sinking liner and was able to catch it for out number 1.
Catcher, number 5.
Bring up Sable. Blake hitting .267 on the season with a home run, 13 runs batted in. Sable grounded out to second in his first at bat in this game. He hit his first, not just his first home run of the season, but his first career home run last Wednesday against the Gauchos.
Well, Blake comes, he is a good-looking catcher. Comes from a family of good-looking catchers. His brother Stefan went to, out of high school, went to University of Oregon and had some injuries, issues there, and ended up going to Orange Coast and then signed. Much like Blake, who was also a very highly touted recruit. You can see why. There's some skills there and some bat speed.
0-1 is outside. 1-1 is Breck threw a very, very good slider the pitch before that Sable was out in front of. Benz looked sharp today for the Gauchos on the mound. 6'7" freshman left-hander. Over at first is Carrillo. Adalberto led off the inning with a solid base hit to left field. We're in the fourth, 3-0 Gauchos, both teams with 3 hits, and USC has committed the only error.
Carrillo's a threat to run over there. See how aggressive the Trojans are when they're down by 3, but it's early. You like to get a guy in scoring position. But Sable can also put one into the trees here.
Carrillo is 9 for 9 in stolen bases, being held on by Austin Bush. And this one pop foul behind us and out of play. And the count 1-2. That was a good fastball in on the hands of Sable.
Yeah, and Breck did a good job changing his looks. He went with a pickup, but then he dead legged to the plate right there, which he didn't do his normal leg lift, and something that maybe surprised Sable a little bit. Maybe that made that fastball just an inch or two quicker.
1-2, and this one's hammered to deep right field. I don't think the park's going to keep it in, and it's not. I think that hit off the tree.
No, it's off the wall.
It's off the wall, I beg your pardon. And coming around to score is Carrillo. I thought there's a branch that doesn't hang over the fence out there, but that hit the very top of the wall, and I couldn't tell if it had actually hit that branch first. But
well, I got you. I got your head, Jerry, on that last home run. I got you excited, but
no, I mean when that left the bat, I thought it was gone.
No, it was hit well, and but in your defense, you're looking through a camera, through a screen, through a lens, through all the stuff. But the Gauchos missed the cutoff man there because there was a chance that there was a play at the plate.
Exactly, and Sable stays at second base after the booming double. And for Sable, that's his 5th double of the season. So with 1 out, USC has a run in, and Corey Dempster batting. Dempster doubled in his first at bat. And there goes the runner to third. The pitch is taken, the throw to third, and they got him. Great throw by Grover and a good tag by Kenny Corey. He was not only out, Sable was out by 5 feet.
Yeah, that was an interesting call right there, to say the least. It didn't look like it was a hit and run, and you do like to steal third against a left-hander, but the Gauchos handled that one pretty well. That was an easy out.
And Dempster looks at strike 2, so it's 0-2 here on Corey. And if you're up there, and Corey hitting .272 this year, he's got 4 home runs, and you've got a guy at second base. He gets thrown out by that much. That's got to be not only frustrating, obviously, to the USC dugout, but it's got to be frustrating to Corey Dempster, the batter, because he's thinking, I got a chance to knock you in. You just got thrown out.
Yeah, that didn't have a look yeah, that didn't have a good look, the whole thing.
No balls and 2 strikes.
I don't know if Matt Curtis is running around and saying they missed a tag, or he's just kind of frustrated that maybe there was a missed sign.
And the pitch up, 1-2. Yeah, I don't. Of course, we don't know for certain, but Sable could have the green light. It looked
he's
like
a good athlete, and the catcher's, maybe he's fast for a catcher, my favorite phrase in baseball, but hey, I mean,
you just never know.
It's an aggressive play.
Right,
you want to,
but he was out by so much that something was missed.
You want to get to third base with less than 2 outs and try to get a free run on an out.
2-2 is a good changeup by Breck, and he gets Dempster swinging to end the inning. So the Gauchos come up with a terrific defensive play from Dempsey Grover and Kenny Corey, and Ben Breck strikes out Dempster to end the top of the 4th inning. So the Gauchos give up 1 and minimize the damage from there. 3-1, UCSB.
Get to the Gaucho shop for discounted Team Nike baseball.
Looking to experience the best of Santa Barbara? You know, get a local's take. Montecito Bank and Trust has over 40 years of local expertise, personalized service, and creative financial solutions, plus an unrivaled dedication to the communities we serve. With 10 locations across Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, see how we can be the perfect partner for you and your banking needs. Visit montecito.bank today.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Jerry Fall, Bob Bronsomer with you as Mason Perryman warms up to begin his 4th inning. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Gauchos. 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 error for USC. And for Santa Barbara here in the inning, it will be Kenny Corey, Tommy Jew, and J.J. Muno. If anybody gets on, Dempsey Grover. Kenny was up there last inning when Sam Cohen was out trying to steal second base.
And Kenny was okay with starting fresh out of that deal. He was in a little bit of a hole.
And there's a good change. Gauchos continue to take some big cuts at that changeup that is coming out of Perryman's hand very, very well. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 is bounced. 1 ball and 1 strike. Three to 1 Gauchos here in the bottom of the 4th. The outfield playing Corey to pull, which is interesting because he has an opposite field to middle of the field approach, but in center, Moya is shaded toward right center.
It's more than interesting. I think it's incorrect. So, but the best play is one that works, and so we'll see how it plays out here. But I would say that would just not too many teams play him this way.
1-2, swung on and missed. And that was a good slider down and in at the back foot of Kenny Corey for out number 1. Perryman looks good out there. I thought he did well against UCSB on Wednesday, giving up 2 earned runs in 5 innings. That's giving your team a chance to win, and he really has his changeup and his slider working very, very well so far in this one.
Yeah, I really only made one one mistake maybe, and that was the changeup to Austin.
And here's Tommy Jew, and he fouls the first pitch back. Now that time Perryman missed up.
Yeah, that was a slider that was up in the zone, and Tommy, who is also swinging the bat well, put a good swing on it.
Tommy walked and scored on Dempsey Grover's infield single in the 2nd inning. 3 to 1 Gauchos. That pitch missed inside, 1-1. Tommy tries to lay off the appeal at first, and first base umpire Jeff Hendricks says he went around, so it's 1-2.
And that shows you how good that Perryman's changeup is today, is that Jew really has been his last 5 at-bats. He's just been on everything.
Yeah.
And that's a first pitch out of all those at-bats that had him fooled, so that's how good that pitch has been.
Gaucho's very excited with Tommy coming back, redshirt freshman. There's another change, and he lays off. Tommy's just been outstanding in center field this year. He's been one of the Gauchos' best hitters.
He's impressed me defensively as well. Just because I said, I think he was an infielder that they've converted to outfield, but he looks like he's been playing there for a long time. Yeah.
And he hits one hard to Rios. What a backhand by Rios. The long throw, and he airmails his first baseman, Paulson. So that will be an error on Rios, I would assume, as Tommy's safe at first base. So Rios made the tough part of the play and then kind of messed up the easy part of the play. They're going to rule it a hit, actually.
Well, that's generous, but you could also understand why. Because he
hit it hard.
Hit it on the screws. But you're right, he made the great part of the play, but the play where he probably should have drawn the error was on the throw. But it was a long throw, and it was hit so hard it knocked him back a couple. I didn't see the play. It looked like it was great because all the catchers and the umpires were right in my way on that one, but I think it was a smash that he backhanded. Is that accurate?
Did.
Yeah.
Yep. And here is JJ, and he takes change on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. So 1 out. Jew over at first, being held on by Dylan Paulson. Dylan's a big guy, and that one was way over his head. So, and the thing is, the ball was hit so hard, Bob, that Rios, who made a spectacular pick of that ball on the backhand side, he could have read the Santa Barbara News Press before he threw it. Here's the 0-1. That's down low, 1-1.
But kind of in his attempt to make the great field, when he picked it, he kind of moved backwards a little bit. And sometimes when you're not moving toward your target, you have a tendency to throw uphill, and that's exactly what happened. He didn't really he didn't move his feet and try to get it towards first base, which allowed him maybe to get on top more. He kind of threw uphill, and that was the result.
Rios, the shortstop, and Perez, the second baseman, in double play depth, both shaded toward the bag. So some pretty sizable holes on both sides of the infield, especially over on the right side with Paulson holding Tommy Jew. Tommy can run. He's 7 out of 9 in stolen bases. And there's a ball that comes in low, 2 balls and 1 strike to J.J. Muno.
And I got to think something's going to happen here. They're going to either run or hit and run. Sometimes, even though that wasn't an error, sometimes you think you're playing with house money a little bit, and you already have a lead. So how about putting the pressure on the Trojans and make something happen here?
Muno grounded to first in his first at bat. There goes Tommy on the hit and run.
That's trouble right there.
And Tommy is out at second base.
They would have called him out anyway because
I think he was out on first one.
On the interference, they would have called him out because JJ went across the plate. But moot point at this point.
Scott Jones, the home plate umpire, had called JJ out for, as Bob mentioned, for falling over the plate on that swing and miss. But the second base umpire in this case, who was Ryan Bleiberg, he had called Tommy Jew out anyway on Sable's good throw.
It was a very good throw. It was a changeup down. And he showed very good arm strength.
I think Tommy even came off the bag a little bit on the
slide.
He did.
It was you could conceivably give him a stolen base on that and then give him a pickoff for sliding after. The call was after he was actually safe.
Well, it looked like Bleiberg was calling him out. Here's JJ getting hit by that pitch on the 3-2 offering, so he'll go to first. Looked like Bleiberg was getting ready to call him out on the original call, Bob, and just seeing if Rios had the ball. And then Rios applied a second tag. Who knows? It's a moot point, like you said, because it was interference on JJ.
Number 20.
At the plate. So here's Dempsey Grover, who has 4 home runs this season for UCSB. He has a run batted in today with an infield single. Dempsey also scored on an error in that second inning. JJ way off the bag at first, dancing around. Now the back pick, nope, no back pick. A fake throw by Sable.
Well, where Rios is now, I think he was another step to his right.
He's way over toward the 6 hole.
On Dempsey's first at bat. Dempsey hit what would be considered a firm, it was a hard hit ball, but it was straight up shortstop. And Rios had a long way to go, made a great stop, but couldn't throw him out at first.
The USC infield is playing Grover to pull with Rios, the shortstop, shaded well over toward the hole between third and short, and the second baseman, Perez, is right up the middle of the diamond.
And I think that's, you know, give you credit where credit's due. I think that's how you play Dempsey. He definitely has a lot of base hits that he rolls over in that 6 hole. And the balls he hits in the air are in that right center gap, but he's a pull on the ground guy. He'll also lift in the air.
That's why they're playing him to pull in the outfield as well.
Right.
But Dempsey will go the other way.
Yeah, I'd put my right foot there even a little bit more.
There goes the runner. The pitch is taken, the throw, and JJ has got it stolen. Good jump by me.
He got
he got it stolen. Did he blow another belt? He did.
He got a great jump. He got a running start a little bit, which is what JJ does. He gets those running starts, and
that's the second time this year.
He must have stock in belts because
he's blown
it's
out
at
a belt.
least the second time he's blown out a belt. That's what happens when you get those nice expensive leather belts, is those belt clips, they fall off all the time. You have those cheap rubber ones that you wear in pony leg or little leg, they last a lot longer.
So JJ's little wardrobe malfunction again. All right. JJ's all ready to go. That was Josh Adams who brought him the belt.
Josh is a team player.
Yeah, always has been. 2 balls and 1 strike on Grover. Now the Gauchos can add to the lead if Dempsey can get a base hit here with 2 outs. And another good change from Perryman. 2-2. The shift still on, playing Grover to pull, and here's a pitch in the dirt. JJ did not get a good first read on that one, so he stays at second base. As Sable blocked that out in front of home plate, a little off to the right, actually. And Sable's a little shaken up. That may have gotten him on the throwing hand.
Yeah, it got him where it hurts. I'm not sure which part, but he's shaking that hand like that.
Hand.
Yeah, so.
Normally the umpire take a ball out to the pitcher or something like that, but I don't know that Jones actually knew that Sable got that on the throwing hand initially.
Yeah,
if he did, then
I think you're right. I think Sable just beat him to the punch.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, if you think about it, if JJ had seen that ball, there's probably no way that Sable could throw it with that hand hurting. 3-2, check swing, and that one fouled back.
Well, JJ was going the wrong direction on that. He had no momentum and he had no shot, so it was a good decision for him not to go. I don't think he identified the fact that it might have hit his hand, but he just didn't have the jump that he needed. And you don't want to make that third out at third base. It's already in scoring position, so let Dempsey drive you in from there.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Grover. Out at second is Muno. He'll be running on anything with 2 outs.
He's running now. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Swing and a miss. And Perryman elevates the fastball and strikes out Grover. Had JJ gone, he could have walked to third.
Yeah, that's what he couldn't believe how big a lead he had. And the catcher stood up, Sable stood up like everyone was yelling. And Perryman said, I'm going to strike him out anyway, so take that.
And I wonder, Bob, if all that dancing around that JJ was doing out there can be distracting to, in this case, Dempsey Grover. Even though JJ is doing the right thing to try to get the advantage to steal third, but you can't. You have to think that Grover can't help but notice it.
Yeah, no, it does. It is distracting to a hitter on sometimes, and some hitters really dislike it. But that could have contributed. You're absolutely right.
We'll let you hear the sights and the sounds from Cesar Wasaka Stadium as we go to the 5th, 3-1 UCSB.
Quality and freshest ingredients possible, and let them speak for themselves. Call 805-962-4416. That's 962-4416 to make your reservations at Paradise Cafe. Leading off the top of the fifth inning for the University of Southern California. First baseman, number 24, Dylan Paulson.
All right, we head to the fifth. Dylan Paulson leading it off for the Trojans. Paulson followed by Shockey and Moya, bottom third of the lineup. Brecht here to start the fifth inning. Ground and kicked by Colton Burns. That'll be an error. Leadoff man is on as Paulson hit a hard ground ball. Second base at.
Left fielder, number 23, Brady Shockey.
That's one that
tried
Colton
to get in front
needs
of,
to come up with.
Colton, you know, was in between backhanding and tried to get in front, so he kind of did both and didn't make the play.
Here's Brady Shockey. Shockey, a .226 hitter coming into the game. Bounced out to second his first at bat.
Shockey's a baseball name, that's for sure. I think I've seen some of his relatives. I think his dad and maybe his uncle. I think his dad played at Cal State Northridge, was a pretty good hitter down there, and maybe his uncle, if I'm not mistaken, played at Pepperdine. I'm assuming it's the same name, same spelling.
Shockey just a freshman, Bob, and they really like him. A lot of upside with him. Already a guy, you look at his physique, and Brady doesn't look like a freshman. He's got some arms on him. He's got some legs on him.
Well, as I said, he's got some baseball genes, that's for sure.
the count show, bottom of the fifth inning. Right fielder. Colton Burns.
All right, we're back here at Cesar Wasaka Stadium. Bottom of the fifth inning, 3-1. Gauchos with the lead over USC. Perryman is out there for his fifth inning of work. UCSB, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. USC, 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 error. Armani Smith, the batter, over at first base, is Colton Burns, who reached on a 1-out single. Armani has flown out to center and flown out to left. And there's another good change. Gauchos just are not on time for Perryman's changeup today, and it's, you know, sometimes you have to credit the pitcher, not fault the batter. I mean, it's a good changeup.
Well, it is. He's got a good arm speed on that, a good hand speed, and it's very deceptive.
Yeah, it's tough. Here's the pitch, and that one hit off the fist weakly to the right side. Diving is Perez, and it gets under him and goes into right field for a base hit. Going over to third is Colton Burns, and the Gauchos have runners at first and third now with 1 out. Perez was shaded toward the bag at second and did everything he could to get back to it. Almost came up with it. And here's Austin Bush, who's been hit by a pitch and homered. One more home run by Bush, and he will be the all-time single-season home run leader in UCSB history. Got the rest of this game and 3 in Hawaii, and love to see him do it here, Bob, for obvious reasons, in front of the home crowd. Final home game of the season. But also, Hawaii is a difficult ballpark in which to hit home runs.
It is, but they have moved the fences in a couple years ago, and if the ball goes anywhere, it goes out to.
And Bush takes a mammoth cut and doesn't get it.
And I don't think it matters for Austin. He can hit the ball out of Jellystone.
Well, that's the Gaucho's 6th hit, that base hit the other way. Armani really got tied up on that, but Armani's so strong. He was able to get enough of the bat on the ball, even though he was jammed, to hit it hard enough to get it by Perez at second base.
Yeah, that was the classic hit him where they ain't play right there.
It was a fastball that missed low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bush. 1 out here in the 5th. 3-1 UCSB. Bush takes a change, low and away, 2-1.
someone is either mocking me or from the dugout calling Austin Bushy. Or maybe I subliminally heard that before, and that's how I used
they're
it.
They're not mocking you, but I'm hearing the same thing.
And
if they're mocking Austin, I'm not sure that's a good idea. 2-1 is yanked down the right field line. That's going to be extra bases for Bush. 1 run is in. Smith turns and will hold at third base on a double by Bush, and he now has 54 runs batted in this season, and it's 4-1 UCSB. Good job by Dempster to get that ball in the corner and prevent Armani Smith from scoring from first base.
Yeah, it was. He played that with a lot of poise right there. And a lot of guys try to rush in and maybe try to cut that off or do something, ended up kicking it around a little bit. That ball's a double. He played it as a double and didn't give anything extra, so that's a good job by Dempster out there. And Bush, it's just fun to watch hitters that are hot like this.
Here's Sammy Cohen, who has struck out and walked. Sammy walked in his last at-bat, and it was a very good at-bat because he got down in the count, 1-2, ended up getting a walk. Here's the change, and boy, that was a good pitch. Not sure where it missed.
And I thought that was a good pitch as well.
1 ball and no strikes. So second and third, USC still playing the infield back, down by 3. There is activity in the Trojans bullpen down the right field line. Smith at third, Bush at second. And Sammy takes outside, 2-0.
Well, perhaps if there was only 1 runner on at third base, they would bring the infield in. But with 2 on there, they're not afraid of chasing 3 or 4. But if you come in and it gets through, all of a sudden you're chasing 5, and that's a little bit bigger number. So I think they're going to be okay with chasing 4 and hoping to get a strikeout or a pop-up here.
Maybe pitching around Cohen as well with first base open, and Sammy's got 8 home runs this year, and solid hitter for UCSB. And Kenny Corey on deck, who's also a solid hitter, but at least if you put Cohen on,
no, you're right.
You bring the double play into.
That's another option on that.
3-0, and Sammy on the 3-0 lines it right to Perez, the second baseman, out number 2. So it helped that they were playing the infield back, because if they were playing the infield in, that's over Perez's head.
Yeah, and it's 2 runs probably. Although maybe not. The ball's hit so hard that I'm not sure Austin's going to score on that.
Here's Corey, who was out trying to bunt in the second and struck out in the 4th. So he's 0 for 2. Sammy hit that ball hard with a lot of topspin. Corey chops this one foul up along first. There's Ryan Clark in the first base coaching box. Actually, the first base coaching area. He's well beyond the first base coaching box. And Eddie Corneo over at third for UCSB.
Well, they do allow you to be anywhere within the box confines and straight out. So the beginning of the box, that short line that's in the front, as long as you're within that, you can go back as far as you want for your protection.
Perryman just misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mason is a junior. And again, had not pitched that much this season, 29 2/3 innings. Change in the dirt, good block by Sable.
I think he was their regular Tuesday guy at the beginning of the year. They've had some injuries, and so CJ Stubbs was out for a little bit, and so they needed to get CJ Stubbs to get his pitch count up to get him back onto the weekend. So they started throwing him on Tuesdays. That knocked Perryman out. And
right.
They haven't had a bunch of Tuesday games, so there haven't been a terrible amount of opportunities for Perryman.
Yeah. This is only his 11th appearance of the season. And it's 3-1 to Corey. 4-1 Gauchos here in the bottom of the 5th. UCSB with a run in on Austin Bush's double into the right field corner. Gauchos out hitting the Trojans 7-4. Both teams have committed 1 error. 3-1 from Perryman, and that is on the outside corner as Corey was getting ready to throw the bat away, and it's a full count. Well, I got to be honest with you, Bob. This is one of the few times this season where I have seen another team play Corey to pull. Christian Moya, the center fielder, is shaded toward right center because Kenny hits the ball the other way most of the time. 3-2, and he tried to hit it the other way that time and fouled it back.
Maybe it's they're playing him how they want to pitch him.
Yeah.
And that could be the strategy on the deal. But, we'll see. We'll see if there's a benefit either way, the Gauchos or the Trojans.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Second and third for the Gauchos with 2 outs. And the pitch outside, ball 4, bases loaded for Tommy Jew.
And other than Austin, this is the guy you want up.
Tommy hit his 3rd home run of the season in Sunday's loss to Cal Poly. And he hit it a long way. It was to left center field, but it was more to center than left.
Yeah, it was over that point. There's that fence goes to a point, and then it goes straight across. So those 2 ends of that center field fence are the deepest part of the park, and he went over that.
And here comes Stubbs out of the first base dugout. They do have activity in the USC bullpen.
I got to think that this will be it. The Gauchos are sitting on that change a little bit better, and I think they've pushed him out pretty far.
Appears to be Brock Larson throwing in the USC bullpen. There you see Coach Stubbs. A couple of years ago, these 2 programs met in the NCAA Lake Elsinore Regional. And both of these programs will be looking to regroup and come back strong next season. So Perryman, if he had a chance to talk himself into it, he did a good job.
Well, some things you don't consider is, I think I said it in the pregame, is they only have 9 healthy pitchers, and they had a lot of guys throw this weekend, and so they may or may not be available, and so they're going to try to push Perryman as far as they can get. So I understand that.
Tommy Jew up there with the bases loaded and 2 outs, 4-1 Gauchos here in the 5th. There's a slider outside, 1-0. It may be not too much of a stretch, Bob, to say that if Perryman does not get Jew here, that may be it for Mason.
Well, I thought it was it for Mason when Coach Hubbs went out there that time, so I'm not going to venture a guess on the next one.
That one missed inside.
It seems that he's at the end of his rope a little bit.
Yep. I said Coach Hubbs before, didn't I? Or
Well,
did I say Stubbs? No,
you might have said Stubbs.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something else here. My apologies to Coach.
Well, they have a Stubbs, and they had a Stubbs.
No, right. And I was looking at something else, a stat down here, and it's just a misspeak. I owe him a sleeve of golf balls, and this should do it.
He made a good pitch there.
Yep. Rios under it, and he makes the catch.
Got it up and made a big pitch and a hitter's count and got a fastball in on a hot hitter.
He did.
Good job by Perryman.
And it was a good visit by Coach Hubbs because whatever he said, able to calm his pitcher down, and that's what Dan knows what to do. So Tommy pops out to end the inning and leave the bases loaded. But the Gauchos get 1 on an RBI double by Austin Bush, who's having a heck of a game with a double, a home run. He's also been hit by a pitch. We go to the 6th. It'll be Lars Nootbaar, Adalberto Carrillo, and Frank Rios, 2, 3, and 4 for USC. If anybody gets on, Blake Sable, as Ben Breck has pitched a terrific ball game today. He's out there for the 6th.
See the Santa Barbara Airbox, a proud supporter of UCSB athletics.
That's not mobile banking.
Deposit checks on the go with the MBNT banking app. This is mobile banking. Download today.
There you get a look at Ben Breck, who has tossed 5 solid innings so far, with the Gauchos leading 4-1. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for UCSB, 1 4 and 1 for USC as we go to the 6th. Terry Paul, Bob Bronsema with you.
Number 11, Lars Newtbar.
And it'll be Lars Newtbar to lead off. Newtbar has a base hit and has flown out, so he's 1 for 2.
But we've been in and out so many times here on our broadcast. I don't know what I said when people could hear me, couldn't hear me.
Well, in and out twice.
Yeah, that's how many times we've been off in and out on the air. I'm talking about in and out with my IQ too. I've gone in and out a few times on my own.
1-0 pitch to Newtbar, and that one just missed as Grover held the glove there. Thought they had the pitch. 2-0. Breck has done a wonderful job for the Gauchos today. Likely will be his final start of the season, but big things ahead for Big Ben. 2-0. That's in there for a strike. Gaucho outfield straight away with, actually I take that back. Armani Smith in left is shaded toward left center, but Tommy pretty much straight away in right. Just a couple steps maybe toward right center, and then straight away in center, Tommy is straight away. In right field, Landon Silver straight away. Here's the pitch, and that's kind of a half swing, foul back to the screen. 2-2.
Not the cut you want to have in a hitting count, 2-1, to get tied up on a ball up and out of the zone. But I think Newtbar is a high ball hitter. He's one of those left-handers that like the ball, much like Sam Cohn. He likes that ball up in the zone, and he just couldn't lay off an ugly pitch.
Breck's 2-2, that one hammered to deep right field. Back goes Silver, still going back, and that one's off the base of the fence. Silver gets it back in, and Newtbar's got a double to lead off the 6th inning for USC.
When that pitch got up enough, Newtbar to put a good swing on it, knock it off the base of the fence.
Here is Adalberto Carrillo. Newtbar at second with his second hit of the game, 2 for 3 with a single. He's also flown out, and then that booming double. Carrillo has a base hit and has scored USC's only run. That was in the 4th inning. Gauchos have Chris Lincoln, who is doing some stretching down in the bullpen. Can't see who else is down there right now for UCSB. And Carrillo fouls the first pitch off. No balls and 1 strike.
You always know when there's a foul ball when you have that thundering herd of kids running down to chase.
When they're running from upstairs and you can hear them. That one high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Four runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Gauchos. 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error for USC. Gauchos trying to break a 3-game losing streak with a win today. Carrillo bunts out in front of home plate. That's a foul ball. Not foul by much. Dempsey had the right idea. He was going to get the out at first base. And
yeah, did a good job. He hopped out of there, got on that quickly, knowing that it had a chance.
Newtbar was already to third, so we'll see how it plays out. If they can get Carrillo without Newtbar advancing to third, it will have turned out okay for the Gauchos.
Well, I think that's kind of what he wanted to do. He wanted to come up and maybe throw to third base. That's how he got out of there quickly. It was a good job by Dempsey, and all for naught.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Carrillo. The pitch, that's fastball up and away, 2-2.
Ben's fastball still has a little life to it, which is nice to see. He reminds me a lot of a pitcher I had back in the day named Jeff Braun, who was a prospect.
Carrillo hits one high in the air to right field. That should be deep enough to get Newtbar to third. He's tagging, and Newtbar will take off for third base and be in there as JJ cuts it off. Now they'll appeal at second base to see if he left too early, and the umpire says no. So Newtbar to third with 1 out, and the Gauchos up 4-1 here in the 6th inning. That'll bring up Rios.
I know the answer to this question, but I'll do it for bad entertainment. Do you think they'll ever make that play a sacrifice fly? No.
No, I don't, but I think I've always thought that they should if it means if that runner scores as a result of it. If he doesn't, then it shouldn't be. In other words, if there's a wild pitch or a pass ball here and Newtbar scores and then Brecht were to get the last 2 outs, pop up fly ball, ground out, whatever, or short fly ball. In other words, if he scores from third on a sacrifice fly, a deep fly ball, or a...
He just scores. How about if he just scores? If he grounds out here, if he scores him here, especially if it's an out. If he scores him on an out.
Yeah. Here I'm trying to dissect it, but you're right. I think it definitely adds to a run.
I mean, it'll never change, and I don't think it should, but you think that it's an interesting scoring thought that, you know, he's hitting the ball the other side. And
well, hitters would certainly like it, Bob, because it would improve their batting averages dramatically, because on a sacrifice fly or a sacrifice bunt, you're not charged with an at-bat. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rios. And he hammers this down the right field line. That is just foul, not by much. Slicing off the bat of the right-handed hitting Frankie Rios. If he had straightened that out a little bit more, then that's a run-scoring extra base hit.
Well, you can see why Rios is having a good year offensively with the batting average. He's got a whole field approach. Looks to hit the ball into the gaps, but he's very good so far. I mean, you know, everything he's hit has been the other way. He's flew out to right, and he's lined out to right, and you can see he's got that approach. And let's see if the Gauchos try to bust him in to try to counteract that. But that's a good approach for a hitter.
Kevin Chandler getting loose in the Gaucho bullpen. Here's a bounding ball back up the middle, base hit center field. And that will make it 4-2 as Newtbar scores easily. And over at first base is Rios with another base hit and another run batted in.
Well, I think he tried to go in, but he didn't get it in far enough, and the pitch was up. And Rios, being the good hitter he is, hit it where it's pitched because he has a good inside-out approach.
Here's Blake Sable, who was grounded to second and doubled in this game. Hit it off the top of the right field fence his last at bat. So lefty against lefty here with 1 out in the 6th and a 4-2 Gaucho lead. Fastball for a strike there. No balls and 1 strike. Well, Ben, being a left-handed pitcher, falls off to the third base side of the mound. Had he been right-handed, he would have had more of a chance at that bounding ball back up the middle, because it was just a smidge or two to the first base side of the rubber. And another good fastball, same spot from Brecht, 0-2. Four runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Gauchos. 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for USC. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out, and Sable represents the tying run for USC. And Brecht with a quick delivery there. He actually had Rios going back to the bag at first.
Yeah, when you're a base runner, a quick move by a pitcher, whether it's lefty or righty, I mean, you don't want to get picked over there, so you have that in your mind. You don't want to get picked by any kind of quick move. So when a pitcher is quick, even if he's just quick to the plate, it sometimes freezes runners or sends them back like it did in that case. But if you're not stealing, usually at first base, there's a little bit of a jab step back to the base anyway.
No balls and 2 strikes to Blake Sable. Rios over at first. And that one up and away, 1-2. Tommy Jew straight away in center. Landon Silver is shaded toward right center from his right field position, and Armani Smith playing pretty shallow, shaded toward left center in left field. Swing and a miss, and a good slider from Ben Brecht out number 2. That time Sable went fishing, and he didn't get anything on the end of the line there.
Well, he's been peppering that 4 spot with that fastball, and so you have to respect that. And then he throws that good slider off the plate. Gets Sable fishing. That's a good job of pitching right there.
So with 2 outs, here is Dempster. Corey today, 1 for 2 with a double. He's also struck out. And he takes a letter high fastball for a strike. Looks like Ben is going a little bit more back to that fastball to try to get ahead in the count, Bob, and possibly set up the USC hitters a little bit differently than he was earlier in the game.
Well, you got to shake it up a little bit, second, third time through, and that's a good pitch right there. He just has great poise. I love his demeanor out there. I just think it's something to be very excited about if you're a Gaucho fan.
I agree. Does not have the demeanor of a freshman, that's for sure.
You can see why he was drafted.
Rios will get back to first base. Frankie is 4 out of 5 in stolen bases this season. Adalberto Carrillo is the leader on this team, 9 for 9.
And you can anticipate him running at some point here in the next couple pitches. Get a hitter in the hole. Gauchos are thinking the same thing as they throw a pick over there. But it's a guessing game anyway. You're going to be going first movement most likely, and so the Gauchos are trying to guess along with Matt Curtis and the Trojans.
No balls and 2 strikes. Brecht's pitch, and that one just missed. Ben thought that was strike 3. He let out a pretty big sigh out there when that was not called a strike. Pitchers, when they really think they have strike 3 and they really think it's not even close, they don't hide their emotions very well. There's a foul off to the right. They're pretty obvious about it.
Well, we got a run here, and I think the Gauchos are going to pick, and we'll see if Bush can play catch. Now, JJ's deep in the hole, so where this is the challenge is Colton Burns has to take the throw. So it's going to be if Burns doesn't get there in time, they got to throw across the runner. It's complicated geometry here. They don't go. All that about nothing. Strike 3. Thanks for coming.
And a great slider by Ben Brecht, and he gets Dempster to swing at a pitch in the dirt, and Ben is through 6 innings. He gives up a run here in the 6th. But he does a nice job to minimize the damage. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Cesar Wasaka Stadium. 4-2, UCSB trying to sweep the 2-game series against USC after a 6-5 win last week in Los Angeles. We'll be right back after this.
Gaucho fans.
Looking to experience the best of Santa Barbara? You know, get a local's take. Montecito Bank and Trust has over 40 years of local expertise, personalized service, and creative financial solutions, plus an unrivaled dedication to the communities we serve. With 10 locations across Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, see how we can be the perfect partner for you and your banking needs. Visit montecito.bank today.
Games on UCSBGauchos.com.
So the Trojans have a new pitcher here in the 6th inning. And for USC, it's Brock Larson. 6'1", 210-pound redshirt senior from Rancho Santa Fe. Went to Torrey Pines High School. So Larson takes over. Sidewinding right-hander. And this season, Brock with a 9.95 earned run average. This is only his 6th appearance. He's pitched 6 in the 3rd innings, struck out 8, walked 4, and opponents hitting just 208 against him. So he hasn't been out there very often. And as a redshirt senior, his season and career coming to an end. Coach Hubbs wants to get him some work, and he comes in, does Brock in a close game. 4-2 Gauchos here in the bottom of the 6th. J.J. Muno, followed by Dempsey Grover and Landon Silver. 7, 8, and 9 in the Gaucho order.
Well, 208 is a great batting average against, but when you look a little closer at the numbers, the hits that he's given up have been extra base hits. He's given up 5 hits, 4 of them for extra bases, 1 homer and 1 double and 3 home runs. So that's why you would have a 9.95 ERA with a 208 batting average against.
Muno grounded out to first and was hit by a pitch, so he's 0 for 1. And Larson's 0-1 to the backstop, 1-1.
And it's interesting because the guys that throw down under like him, a side armor, those guys don't normally give up home runs. They normally hit ground balls, but perhaps, you know, a sidewinder against left-handers would be the answer to that question or dilemma. The left-handers like those down balls down there sometimes, and perhaps he's given those up to left-handers.
The USC first base dugout trying to hold the Gauchos right where they're at here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-2, Santa Barbara with the lead. One of the highlights, Austin Bush's 18th home run of the season, which ties the school record for most home runs in a career, in a season, I beg your pardon. JJ hits it hard. Rios has it on a backhand. Will make the throw across in time. What a play by Frankie Rios, out number 1. That's one shortstop saying hello to another.
Well, that's the play you want to see your shortstop make. The ball, he has to go to his right, make that long throw. That's what scouts look at. That's how you define your shortstop, that guy that can backhand the ball in the hole and make that long throw to first. So nice play by Rios.
So here's Grover, who had an infield single that scored a run in the Gauchos' 2nd inning, and Dempsey scored later in that inning on a throwing error when Brady Shockey missed his cutoff man. Dempsey bunting, third base side of the mound. Larson's got it and will throw, and he pulled his man off the bag. So he pulled Paulson off the bag at first base, and that'll be a throwing error on Brock Larson. He took his time on that, Bob, because he's got a very good arm, but then he made
he did everything. He did what he should have done. He had time. He took his time. He just threw the ball up the line. And I thought that Paulson actually made a good play and did a good job with his footwork, but Jeff Heinrich saw it differently, and the throw pulled him off. So maybe if we can get that on replay, I'd like to see if we can get an angle on that. Let's see if Coach Hubbs has a gripe, or
well, he didn't say anything.
Coach Heinrichs knows what he's talking about out there. I know he does. He's an outstanding umpire.
Well, Dan Hubbs didn't come out of the first base dugout, and he had a very good look at it from that first base dugout. Here's Silver, and Larson's pitch misses inside, 1-0. So Dempsey on again for the 2nd time today. Silver had a base hit and grounded to short. He's 1 for 2. 4-2 Gauchos here in the 6th with 1 out. And Larson catches the outside corner. I tell you, Sable did a nice job framing that pitch because it looked like it was off the plate by a few inches. But it did have some run back over that outside corner, the pitch. One ball and 1 strike. Over at first is Grover. Paulson holding him, and that pitch looked like it was the same spot, this time called a ball.
I'd be interested to know if Brock Larson has always been a side armor, or if this is something that was a conversion. Be interesting to, well, I guess it wouldn't be that interesting, but for some, but for my head, it would be interesting.
And this one hit down the right field line, and that one will land foul by a couple of feet. Giving chase down there for USC was Corey Dempster. But Landon going the other way with that pitch.
And Dempster was going to get there even if it was foul, so Trojans got a break that ball sliced just enough into foul territory.
Top of the order, Colton Burns on deck for UCSB. Gauchos scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third to lead it 3-0. USC answered with a run in the fourth. Austin Bush had a home run in that series. The Gauchos also scored in the fifth, and Austin's home run came in the third inning, and then USC with a run in the sixth. So Bush needs one more home run to become the program's all-time single-season leader in home runs.
It's a good number. It's a legit number. I think the way he's swinging the bat, it's hard to imagine then not getting another one. But it's a hard thing to do. He's making it look easy, but it's a hard thing to do.
3-2, and that's inside, ball 4. So Silver draws a walk. Dempsey will go to second. And the top of the order, Colton Burns. So Landon has been on 2 out of 3 at bats in this game,
Number 38.
with a walk and a base hit.
Burns.
2 out of 3 plate appearances. Colton struck out his first 2 times up and then had a base hit and scored the Gaucho run in the 5th inning. So he's 1 out of 3. That USC bullpen looks pretty quiet right now. 1 out. And shortstop Frankie Rios playing up the middle of the diamond right now, trying to keep Grover close at second base. Here's a pitch in the dirt. Sable with a nice block. 1 ball and no strikes. Chris Clements has been loosening in the Gaucho bullpen. Now he's standing on one of the mounds down there, just throwing the ball up and down to himself. Grover at second, Silver at first. 4-2 Gauchos here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. And that's a good fastball at the knees for a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Eddie Corneo in the third base coaching box for the Gauchos, hoping to get that windmill going, be able to wave Grover home from second, maybe even Silver from first. And there's another good fastball for a strike at the knees. 1-2. Moya in center is a few steps toward right center, so they're playing Colton to pull here. Big gap in left center. Shockey in left pretty much straight away.
Yeah, once again, because Burns and Corey have very similar approaches. Both of them are more left side of the infield hitters.
And that one off the glove of Moya, and it will go behind him, and the runners will move up 90 feet. It should be a pass ball because there was nothing difficult about that, Bob.
I think
unless Moya was crossed up.
Sable, I think.
Or Sable, I beg your pardon.
I think he'd be the first to tell you that he should have had that. And even if he was crossed up, I still think maybe that would be something that he should have grabbed.
You know, Sable did what a lot of catchers do when they're crossed up. They went right out and talked to his pitcher Larson. Remember this, not just the first inning the Gauchos are seeing Larson. It's the first inning of this game where Sable is catching him. Middle infielders are back for USC, and the pitch outside, so full count. And again, second and third with 1 out. As Bob mentioned earlier, if it was just Dempsey Grover over at third and nobody at second, that you'd probably see the USC infield in. But if they move the infield in and Colton hits it by him, that could easily be 2 runs. And he pulls one into right field, a base hit. Dempster up with it. Now he boots it, and 2 runs are going to score, and the Gauchos up the lead to 6-2. Colton Burns on a 3-2 pitch pulled it hard through the right side. And Corey Dempster coming up, trying to pick that ball cleanly to make a throw to the plate. Booted it out there. It'll be a base hit and 2 runs batted in. No error on Dempster.
Yeah, I don't think he might have thrown to the plate, but I think
you can't assume that he was going to get him.
Yeah, and Silver runs too well. I don't think there was going to be a play. It was a hard hit ground ball, but it was on the ground for a long time, and that's all sorts of time for Silver to run.
Well.
Yes.
So here's Armani with Burns at first, and the pitch bunted third base side, picked up and no play. Picked up by Larson. I think Larson and Sable, had some miscommunication there. I think Larson thought that Sable was going to pick it up and vice versa. By the time Larson picked it up, Bob, you're not going to get Armani waiting that long.
To steal a line from our favorite volleyball announcer, that was the husband and wife play right there. I got it, you take it, any of that type of stuff. There was not great communication, and Sable got there quickly, and it was a no man's land, no doubt. And Larson was kind of assuming that Sable was going to take it, and I think same with Sable to Larson.
So Burns at second. And here's Austin Bush. And Bush takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Bush with a home run and an RBI double in this game. He has 18 home runs this season and 54 runs batted in. Austin had 11 home runs last year in that College World Series run by the Gauchos. Looks like from the first 2 pitches, Bob, that Larson wants nothing to do with Bush.
Yeah, I would say that, but Larson has not been sharp. He's, that might have something to do with the fact that, he doesn't throw a lot, so it's hard to stay sharp.
And you don't have a break on deck with swinging Sammy, right. Sam Cohen, who's got 8 home runs this year. Oh, when Bush had one he could hit there, and Austin just jerks his shoulder out of the batter's box, and after he fouled that one straight back.
Well, he hasn't missed many. So
no.
when you miss them like that, you think, gosh, how did that happen? Everything I'm swinging at, I'm crushing. So
he'd love it back. Don't know if he's going to get it back, but he'd love it back. 2 balls and 1 strike. First and second for the Gauchos, 6-2 UCSB in the 6th. And Austin takes inside.
It's not a great matchup. Like I said, I did not like, and I had a few sidewinders and Under Armours and whatever you want to call them.
Submariners, yeah.
In my time, and I just did not like throwing them against left-handers. I just think it's a bad matchup, and certainly as hot as Bush is, and as infrequent as Larson throws.
Bush foul tips another one at the plate, and that one was up a little bit.
Up, I think. If it's away, the best chance you have of Bush is up and away. Down, anything down, he can lift. And away is fine because he can get extended. You got to get him up and away with some velocity, ideally.
Full count pitch, and Austin swings and foul tips it into the glove of Sable for out number 2. So Larson gets the big bad wolf.
Yeah, it was up. It wasn't away. It was up middle, or maybe even a little bit in. So I think he had the height correct. It's the first pitch that Austin saw that was above the knees. But good job by Larson. It's telling me right there, hey, take that bad matchup, put that in your pipe and smoke it, Bronsema.
So here is Sammy Cohen, Chris Clark stretching in the USC bullpen. Cohen with 8 home runs, bats with first and second occupied, and not quite sure where that one missed.
That's a good pitch.
A fastball that looked like it.
Yeah, he'd like to get that
was
one.
In the zone.
Apparently that was down, according to Sable telling the dugout.
Sammy has struck out, walked, and lined out to second. When he lined out to Perez at second base his last at bat, he crushed that ball. And here's a base hit to center. Nope, I take that back. It is Rios behind the bag. I got ahead of myself there, but they had a pull defense or shift on Cohen in the infield, and Rios was right behind second. Most cases, that's a base hit to center, but not the way USC had the defensive line there. They had him played perfectly.
All right, fans, time to pick up the big glass down.
And again, Sammy hit it hard, Bob.
Yeah, that's not going to do him a lot of good when he goes home tonight, but that's what happens to hitters sometimes. You hit them at the screws, but it's a 9-on-1 game. That's why coaches tell pitchers, throw strikes. There's people out there to help you.
And Breck takes the mound for the 7th inning. The Gauchos get 2 more and lead it 6-2 after 6 innings here at Cesar Wasaka Stadium.
Riverside 10-6 in the Inland Empire. And UC Davis picked up a 3-2 win.
That's not mobile banking.
Deposit checks on the go with the MBNT banking app. This is mobile banking. Download today.
So Ben Breck has done a terrific job for UCSB, and he's out there for a 7th inning that he has certainly earned, Bob. Gauchos with a 6-2 lead, getting him 2 more runs in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, it means he can be a little bit more aggressive in the strike zone. I don't know how much more aggressive he needs to be because he's been outstanding all day.
Paulson and Shockey, left-handed hitters, scheduled to bat here in this inning, and there's a slider that close pitch. Ben didn't get the call. 1 ball and no strikes. Paulson struck out and reached on an error. So he's 0 for 2. He takes a strike, 1-1. Six runs, 9 hits, 1 error for UCSB. 2 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for USC. This one chopped foul over into the Trojan dugout. Always great when UCSB and USC get together, or UCSB and UCLA get together. All 3 programs, top programs most years on the West Coast. Here's the pitch. And with all due respect to USC, it's more UCLA year in and year out. The Trojans had been scuffling for a while before Dan Hubbs got him, and Hubbs got him to the regional in 2015. But it's been a down year, obviously, for both UCSB and USC this season. 2-2, and that one didn't miss by much. A little low, full count.
Well, needless to say, USC has quite the rich tradition.
21 College World Series appearances, not NCAA postseason. That's 21 College World Series appearances.
I'm pretty
and
sure.
Strike 3, Breck got him, out number 1.
Pretty sure the Trojan faithful are ruining the day they let Mike Gillespie go. That quality move that somebody made down there, whose name will be left off the air, but.
And here is Brady Shockey, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out.
Let me just tell you that it's not an easy deal. It's just not easy to be great. It's not easy to be at the level that the Trojans, the standard that the Trojans set. It's difficult for anybody to maintain that.
Here's the 0-1, and that one hit up the middle. It'll be Colton Burns to his right, has it, throws to first in time. Good stretch by Bush, out number 2.
Center fielder number 2, Christian.
That'll bring up Christian Moya, the center fielder, batting 9th in the lineup.
When you're dealing with 11.7 scholarships, and you're a coach that doesn't run players out of the program, you offer them scholarship and you stand behind that. If you make a couple mistakes or you have some injuries or whatever that is, it's real easy to fall off a couple years and not be able to rebound from that. And people have to understand that. It's tough. Injuries happen, and you can have hiccup years or bad years. It's just part of the deal when you don't have all the scholarships like these other sports have.
Breck starts Moya off with a strike, 0-1. Moya has flown out to center field twice. Breck is looking for his second 1-2-3 inning of this game. He set down the Trojans in order in the third. And he's one strike away from getting it. No balls and 2 strikes to Moya. 6-2 Gauchos here in the 7th. The 0-2, here it comes, and that one fouled back. Good job by Moya to get a piece of a pitch that was very close to that outside corner. If he let it go, that may have been borderline.
Well, I was just about to say that Breck doesn't throw a lot of balls in the middle of the plate. Everything he throws is on one side of the plate, on the outside black, or off the plate, which is why he's thrown a gem here today.
Yep. The big left-hander into the line, the pitch, and that one is hit out to right field. Landon Silver under it, and Ben Breck has his second perfect inning of this game. And that brings us to stretch time here at Cesar Wasaka Stadium. 6-2 UCSB over USC as we go to the bottom of the 7th. For the Gauchos in the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Kenny Corey, Tommy Jew, J.J. Munoz scheduled. If anybody gets on, Dempsey Grover. We'll be right back after this.
Looking to experience the best of Santa Barbara? You know, get a local's take. Montecito Bank and Trust has over 40 years of local expertise, personalized service, and creative financial solutions, plus an unrivaled dedication to the communities we serve. With 10 locations across Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, see how we can be the perfect partner for you and your banking needs. Visit montecito.bank today.
Nice crowd out here at Cesar Wasaka Stadium, the final home game of the season for the Gauchos. The final midweek game for both UCSB and USC. Chris Clark, the freshman out there, taking over for the Trojans, the third pitcher used by Dan Hubbs today. Clark 4-1 with a 5.08 earned run average. He's making his 19th appearance and his 9th in relief. 67 1/3 innings. He struck out 38, walked 21, and opponents are hitting .310 against Clark.
I want to finish my thought on Mike Gillespie and USC and coaching and how hard it is and where I was going with that, because the Trojans have had good coaches post Mike Gillespie. Chad Kruder and Frank Cruz and Dan Hubbs, those are very, very good baseball people, good baseball men, smart, intelligent. It just goes to how difficult it is to have the standard that USC set for all those years.
Here's Kenny Corey taking a strike from 6'7" right-hander Chris Clark, 6'7", 212. So they'll put some weight on him, Bob, just a freshman. And with some real upside. Here's the pitch line, past the third baseman into left field, a base hit. And that's the way you normally see Kenny Corey hit the ball. A diving effort by Adalberto Carrillo. He almost came up with it, but that was a solid base hit to left, and Shockey had to go quite a ways to his right because they were playing Corey to pull.
Well, we've discussed it a few times, and I'm not sure even if they would have. That's a hit. I mean,
in the outfield.
No, I know that. I know that.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying. I don't think my point was, I don't think they could have done anything different, even if they had the shortstop over there. If anything, maybe that Carrillo has another step towards third base, right. Even. So that was going to be hit any way you shake it, so I don't think the alignment hurt them, but we do still feel that it's an odd alignment that they have with Corey.
Here's Tommy Jew, and there's a pitch in the dirt, and that'll go to the backstop, and down to second base goes Corey on the wild pitch. Well, that was, Clark just spiked that one in front of home plate, and Sable, if he got his body on it, didn't get much of his body on it. It looked like it hit something in front of home plate and just kicked over him.
Clark threw 5 innings on Thursday. They were iffy on whether or not he was going to be available today, but he needs to be down the zone, as most pitchers do, to be effective. He's got a good arm, 87 and 91, slider and a change.
Sable just stepped out in front of home plate to flash the bunt defense sign to his infielders. Tommy's got a base hit, and now he's got 2 as he lines one to right field, and that's going to get the run in. Jew's around first. He's heading into second as Dempster will get it back in. A run-scoring double by Tommy Jew, and the Gauchos lead it 7-2 over the Trojans.
Now that ball was up, and Tommy did a good job. Tommy swung the bat well, as we discussed. And it wasn't a bad pitch. It was just elevated. And Tommy got good barrel on that. Hit it down that right field corner for an easy RBI double.
So here's Muno, 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch today. So he's been on once. Corey getting all sorts of congratulations in the third base dugout. Tommy will certainly get congratulations when they get to check in with him again. Here's a ball hit into short center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Muno takes a huge turn at first with nobody protecting the bag at first, and they were playing so deep in the outfield, the no doubles defense, that Moya, the center fielder, just simply couldn't get to it.
Well, you couldn't, and you'd like your shortstop to go out and catch that. So we had a shortstop that was backpedaling instead of maybe drop stepping, and you tell your outfielders, don't turn your back to the outfield fence until you're coming in to catch it. And you tell the same thing to an infielder. You want to keep your shoulders perpendicular to the plate, to the fence, so you can move. You can keep moving back in case the ball carries a little bit further than you anticipate. But Rios was backpedaling, and that usually causes some trouble.
And Tommy Jew goes over to third on the bloop single by JJ, who's being held on at first by Paulson. Here is Grover, and Dempsey takes a fastball from Clark low, 1-0. Well, it's just a kind of an example of how things have been going for the Trojans. They, coming into the game, had lost 15 of their last 17.
Well, it gets uglier than that, actually, because I think they lost 23 of 28.
Yeah.
Although I guess that's a little better streak than what you said. But yeah, it's very un-Trojan-like. And hey, they are today they're starting 6 guys are sophomore or less, and they have been starting 7, and good players. And Mitch Hart was their guy, was going to be their Friday night guy, and he goes down, and all of a sudden, dominoes start moving. We've had this statement on a few teams. Once you start moving things around, you just put people in roles that they may not be ready for, or not that they can't fill them at some point, but maybe not right now. And so that's a little bit what's happened. And I think they knew they were going to be young and that they'd have some inexperience on the field. They just didn't think they were going to be inexperienced on the mound, and that's where they're getting beat.
Grover has an infield single that scored a run. That was in the second inning. Here's the pitch, and that one pulled foul past Eddie Corneo in the third base coaching area and down into the Gaucho bullpen. 7-2 UCSB. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Grover here in the bottom of the 7th with nobody out. Tommy Jew at third and J.J. Muno at first.
I think J.J.'s going to go in the dugout and tell Sammy Cohen that's how you get hits.
Sammy's hit the ball hard twice today.
With nothing to show.
Nothing to
you
show for it.
You got to hit them where they ain't.
Yeah. 2-2 to Grover. Swing and a miss. And that time, Dempsey, I think, swung at ball 3. That one looked like it was down and in a little bit.
Yeah, but that's the pitch that will make Clark successful. When he's down in the zone, that ball sinks.
Right fielder.
You know, he's 87 to 91, but he's probably better, you know, throwing 87. He'd get a little more sink on his ball, and that ball just ran underneath the bat. It was a very good pitch. Tough pitch for Dempsey to do anything with, and he couldn't do anything with it.
With 2 outs, check that 1 out, I beg your pardon. Here's Landon Silver. Silver has a base hit today. He's also walked and scored a run, so he's 1 for 2 with a ground out to short. Now the Trojans can minimize the damage with a double play ball, get out of the inning. The pitch to Landon, swing and a miss. And now Muno off first, and they throw back, and just back in time is Muno as he slid to the outfield side of the bag, and that may have been what saved him.
Yeah, he was scrambling because he was out, and you know what normally happens with the catcher when they have a ball kind of down the dirt that way, they're going to look at the lead runner. He's more concerned about where the runner is at third. So he looked there, rightly so, and he kind of missed at the fact that JJ was way off. That gave JJ a couple steps back, and then he did a good job swimming back there and missing the tag.
No balls, 1 strike to Silver, and a check swing. Good block by Sable.
That time Sable looked to first initially because he knew the guy at third base was going nowhere.
7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Gauchos, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for USC. Tommy Jew at third. And JJ at first. Here's a liner to right center, and that is going to get down for a base hit. That's in the gap, going all the way to the fence. 2 runs are going to score. Silver rounding second, heading to third with a triple. How do you like that? Landon Silver does not get a lot of playing time, has made the most of his day today.
Yeah, he's vying for some playing time this weekend, basically what he's saying. He's saying, put me back in there, coach. I'm the guy you thought was good enough to start at the beginning of the year.
Number 38, Colton Burns.
What a day for Landon Silver. Silver with a base hit, a walk, and now a 2-run double. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Colton Burns. The Gauchos have opened this thing up with 3 here in the 7th, and they lead it 9-2. Chris Clements continues to throw in the Gaucho bullpen, so there may be a pitch count on Ben Brecht, who has delivered 7 strong innings for the Gauchos. And here's Burns hitting one high in the air to deep left field. That should be deep enough to score Silver. The ball caught, and Landon will come to the plate without a throw, and it's 10-2 Gauchos. Not much Shockey could do there, Bob. That ball was hit pretty deep.
Yeah, there's no chance. That's a good job by Colton getting the pitch to elevate and getting himself a ribeye, as they say.
And Silver getting all sorts of well-deserved congratulations in the third base dugout. That'll bring up Armani Smith with 2 outs.
Gauchos are a home run short of the cycle here this inning.
They certainly are. A double by Tommy Jew, a couple of singles by Corey and Muno, triple by Silver, knocked in 2. And here's Smith, who has 2 base hits today. He's 2 for 4. His last hit was a bunt where Larson and Sable kind of miscommunicated in the 6th inning, and no throw. Armani beat it out. The base is empty, and Smith tries to hold up. Does he? Nope. First base umpire Jeff Henricks says strike 2, 0-2. And Armani chops one. This is going to be a tough play. And a bare hand pick, throw to first, and that one gets by the first baseman Paulson, but backed up by Sable. Bare hand pick by Carrillo, and made a heck of a play as that ball, when it bounced, it took kind of a funny hop on Carrillo. And somehow he still came up with it, but then threw wide at first. So that'll be a single all the way.
Yeah, so that as a lot of balls do with right-handers that get around that pitch and top it, it's going to have that spin on it. And what happens is you kind of come in to field it. When it takes that last hop, it has that spin and it kicks right. So he had to barehand that, did everything he could. Carrillo's got a cannon for an arm, but just ran that ball in.
And here's Bush in Austin with a home run and a run-scoring double in this game. He's also reached base via the hit by pitch, so he's been on base all 3 times. Actually, no, 3 out of 4. He struck out his last time at bat. But Bush with 18 home runs. And he swings and misses here. 0-2. One more, and Bush will be the all-time single-season home run leader in UCSB history. You figure, Bob, this is, unless the Gauchos continue to bat around in this game, but this is probably his last at bat, unless they bat around. But he'll have 3 games in Hawaii. 10-2 UCSB here in the 7th. And the way the Gauchos are hitting the ball today with 14 hits, they can certainly have an opportunity to get Bush up to the plate. But it also might be that Coach Checketts and Coach Walton pinch hit for some of the Gauchos as we move into the latter stages of the game. And Bush swings and misses at a pitch that was low and away, and that does it. And a little confusion there, I think. Austin was not running. I'm not sure what the way Clark reacted there. It was like they still needed to throw to first base. So Clark not happy, obviously, giving up 4 runs in the inning. And we go to the 8th here at Caesar-Wasaka Stadium. 10-2 UCSB over USC, and it'll be Chris Clements taking over on the mound. And what a job by Ben Breck today. Breck gives up 2 runs on 6 hits and was just absolutely outstanding. Ben Breck, one of our San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians players of the game. We'll be right back after this.
That's not mobile banking.
Deposit checks on the go with the MBNT banking app. This is mobile banking. Download today.
So Chris Clements takes over on the mound here for Ben Breck, and Ben in line to win his 4th game of the season. 10-2 Gauchos as we go to the 8th inning. Jerry Fall and Bob Bronsema with you. Chris Clements out there. Trying to finish this one off. Clements with a 1-7 record, a 6.89 earned run average. Clements has pitched 64 innings this season, struck out 48, walked 14. Opponents hitting .358 against him. And here is Brandon Perez, who is 0 for 3 with a flyout and 2 groundouts in this game. First time facing Clements. And there's a fastball. I don't know where that missed. That was a good-looking pitch, but called a ball by Scott Jones. 1 ball and no strikes. The Gauchos with 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 4 in the 7th. There's a strike, 1-1. USC with a run in the 4th and a run in the 6th. Here's the 1-1, and that's a slider in the dirt, 2-1. Clements actually started last Wednesday's game against USC in Los Angeles at Dato Field, and he only lasted 2 innings, gave up 3 runs. So Chris is trying to exact a little revenge today, and there's a fastball at the knees for a strike, 2-2. The outfield for the Gauchos, in center Tommy Jew shaded a few steps toward right center, so they're playing Perez to hit the ball the other way. Armani Smith in left is way over into left center. Here's the next offering. And that breaking ball is in the dirt, full count. Landon Silver, who has had a terrific day at the plate, another one of our San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians players of the game. He's in right field playing straight away. 3-2. And that one chopped to Colton Burns at second, and Colton's got it on an easy hop and will throw him out number 1. Silver with a 2-run triple in that 4-run 7th for the Gauchos. And he also has a base hit in the game.
Designated hitter number 11, Lars Nootbaar.
And here's Lars Nootbaar. Nootbaar today has a base hit and a double, so he's done quite well. He's got 2 of the 6 USC hits. Newtbar, just a sophomore. Came into the game hitting .298 with 5 home runs, 5 doubles, 5 triples. So 3 5s, Bob. That's a good hand.
Not if I have 3 6s. Oh, wait a minute. The Goocher. I can't be saying that.
1 ball and 1 strike. Lars also with 30 runs batted in this season, so he has had a solid sophomore campaign.
Yeah, he's kind of a big offensive player for them. I think the team kind of feeds off him.
That one just missed. Boy, Clements is not getting no appeal at third, and third base umpire Ryan Bleiberg says no swing, but that's 2 pitches in this inning that Clements has thrown right where the glove is and hasn't gotten the call.
You got to overcome that stuff.
That one almost hit Newtbar, so it's 3-1. And Newtbar looks at ball 4, so he goes to first base with 1 out here in the 8th. Gaucho's up 10-2 in this one.
That's not a bad pitch either. Down the zone, that's where you want to be.
Third baseman, number 8, Adalberto Carrillo.
And that'll bring up Adalberto Carrillo. Carrillo playing third today for USC. Adalberto flew to left, singled and scored one of the Trojans' 2 runs. That was in the 4th, and then flew out to right field. So he's 1 for 3. Gauchos have out hit the Trojans 14-6 today. And this one grounded to short, and Muno will go to second. They'll throw back to first, but not in time. I didn't think it was hard enough to get 2, but JJ got the lead man at second base for out number 2 here in the inning.
And I'll tell you what, that was a nice play by Burns because JJ gave him a low sidearm bullet feed. And what I liked there was we had contact at second base and an umpire not overreacting and calling an automatic double play there.
So with 2 outs, here's Frankie Rios. Rios has flown out to right, lined out to right, and singled home a run. That was in the 6th inning. And he looks at one right down Broadway for a strike here, 0-1. Gauchos with a big outburst today, 10-2. UCSB leads USC.
The Gauchos have kind of had the Trojans' number here, all except in that regional.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was after the Gauchos suffered a heartbreaking loss to San Diego State as JJ able to beat his man to the bag, and that will do it on the force play. Gauchos and San Diego State opened that regional, and the Aztecs pulled off a steal of home in the 8th inning to break a 3-3 tie, and they won it by the score of 4-3. And then USC opened up a very close game in the elimination game for UCSB 2 years ago with a 9-run 9th. 10-2 Gauchos here as we go to the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back to Cesar Wasaka Stadium after this.
Looking to experience the best of Santa Barbara? You know, get a local's take. Montecito Bank and Trust has over 40 years of local expertise, personalized service, and creative financial solutions, plus an unrivaled dedication to the communities we serve. With 10 locations across Santa Barbara and Ventura counties, see how we can be the perfect partner for you and your banking needs. Visit montecito.bank today.
Here's entry new pitcher on the mound for USC. Freshman number 41.
Michael Gates has taken over on the mound for USC here in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Gauchos leading 10-2. Gates, a 6'1", 180-pound freshman from Huntington Beach, went to St. Michael's Prep. And Gates making just his third appearance for the Trojans. He has a 9.82 earned run average. He's only pitched 3 2/3 innings, struck out 4, walked 3, and opponents in that time hitting .375 against him. But again, 3 2/3 innings, beg your pardon, is not a lot, but 4 strikeouts in that time. So he's got a lively arm.
This is what you get sometimes on Tuesdays. Guys that don't get a lot of, don't have a lot of innings under their belts, and when they have a weekend series coming up. But this is your guys. This is like Michael Gates. This is opportunity to show Coach Hubbs what he's got and compete and put his 0 up there and earn some time, if not maybe in the pen this weekend, but even next year.
Here's Sammy Cohen, first pitch swinging, and he's down on the count, no balls and 1 strike. Cohen has hit the ball very hard twice today, lined out to second and grounded sharply up the middle where Rios, the shortstop, was playing right behind the bag. Sammy's got a walk today. That's the only time he's been on base. Cohen with 8 home runs this season for the Gauchos. He's had a terrific sophomore campaign, and he looks at a 12-6 breaking ball in the dirt there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Connor Roberts is loosening in the Gaucho bullpen. Sammy pulls this one foul, and he's down on the count, 1-2.
Yeah, Sammy probably shouldn't have swung at that pitch. When you're hitless and your teammates have 14 hits on the board, sometimes you get a little antsy and go up there and get a little greedy and swing at bad pitches, and that's a little the case right there. I thought it was not a good pitch to swing at.
1-2, this one hit back up the middle, base hit center field. So Cohen finally rewarded after swinging the bat well today, but having nothing to show for it until there, a base hit to center. That'll bring up Kenny Corey. Corey singled in his last at bat. He's 1 for 3, he's also walked today. This will be it for the Gauchos here at Cesar Wasaka Stadium today. They'll go to Hawaii to complete the season Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Kevin Cannon will have the calls of those games on audio only on UCSBGauchos.com. Normally they play the series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but the Gauchos are playing, and all the Big West teams are playing this weekend because of Memorial Day weekend.
Well, it also started because the selection.
Here's back up the middle. Rios has it, and he'll flip to Perez, and they turn the double play.
Yeah, well done right there. It's a good turn by Perez because that flip's coming from behind him, and so he gets his body turned around, gets the feed, and he's got a long way to turn and handled that very well and made a nice strong throw to first base. To complete
good play by Rios, too.
Yeah.
Here's Tommy Jew, who's had another good game for the Gauchos. I'm very excited for Tommy in the future, as the Gauchos are. He walked and scored in the second, singled in the fourth, popped to short in the fifth, doubled home a run, and scored in the seventh. So they've only gotten Tommy 1 time today. And here's a drive to deep left field, and this one's back, and Tommy has hit it out. A home run for Tommy Jew, and the Gauchos lead it 11-2. What a great way to end the day for Tommy Jew. That is his 4th home run of the season, and 2nd in as many games. He homered in Sunday's series finale against Cal Poly.
Yeah, he'd like the season to last just a little bit longer because he is seeing everything really well right now. Good for him.
So Tommy Jew with a home run. And he has now driven in 2 runs in this game. Here's JJ, who singled and scored in his last at bat.
Triple short of the cycle for Tommy.
Yep.
Wasted that one at bat in the 5th where he popped up. I don't know what he was thinking on that one.
16 hits for the Gauchos today. There's a good changeup from the right-hander Michael Gates. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the 8th for the Gauchos. 11-2 Santa Barbara over USC. Gauchos looking very much like they'll improve to 23-30, while USC will drop to 20-32 with its 16th loss in the last 18 games, unless things take a dramatic turn for the worse for the Gauchos in the 9th, which we do not anticipate.
Thanks for throwing that little caveat in there. You're feeling strong with that 9-run lead in the 9th? What,
even though USC's got a good hitting club.
Did they put 9 runs on the Gauchos in the 9th at the regional? Yeah, you put your lips on that one, Jerry.
Yep.
If this goes south, it's all on you.
I'm taking this camera and throwing it if it does. 1-2 from Gates, big curveball, 2-2.
I'll bet you a Diet Dr. Pepper that the Gauchos win this game. I shouldn't say that on air, but because there's no gambling, so I take that back. Why don't you just buy me a Diet Dr. Pepper after the game anyway?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Except they're closed. 2-2. 2-2 pitch. And JJ looks at a curveball in. I tell you, that's a nice looking curveball Gates has.
Yeah, it's got a good spin on it, and probably needs to pick up a little more arm speed. But you can see that's a good pitch. That's going to be an out pitch for him in the future, as soon as he gets better command.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Muno, and that's ball 4. So JJ on base with 2 outs here in the 8th inning, and that'll bring up Dempsey Grover. Well, Grover's got some country music, walk-up music.
Number 20,
I think he's changed it. I don't remember this song.
It is my goal, Jerry, to be at some point, if I can do this in my career, if I can extend beyond this year of doing this color commentary thing, to be as gifted as you, to do as many things as you do. You're picking up walk-up song changes, defensive changes, just, I mean, cameras going out, you know, pushing buttons. You are the man. And it's been an absolute pleasure, working with you and learning all these things. That I just thought I was going to be here and just be a pretty face, but I get 2 minutes at the beginning of the day, and that's all I contribute. So
it's been great. I thank you very much, and of course our entire great crew.
Yeah, those guys.
Eddie Epperson and Trevor and Diego and Colin and Greg and Grace, Vic, everybody. Thanks all the way to the top, too. John McCutcheon and Tom Hastings. Gates just snapped off a beautiful curveball in that last pitch, Bob, and there's a nice changeup. 1-2 to Grover. Dempsey today had an infield single and scored in the 2nd inning. And then he reached on an error in the 6th and scored. So
yeah, his infield hit was a big play, because that you know, that was a ground ball. You know, once again, he beat the shift on that.
And that was the inning in which the Gauchos scored twice to take the lead, and they have not relinquished that lead. Grover has also struck out twice today, so he's reached twice and struck out twice. Trying to keep the inning going here. Look out, that went up and in a little bit. Dempsey saw it the whole way. Full count of 3-2.
You think he was throwing at him, Jerry?
No.
Okay. Just like stir it up a little bit here.
And Landon Silver on deck, who has had a terrific game for the Gauchos with a base hit and a 2-run triple. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and there goes the runner, swung on and missed, and Gates finishes off the Gauchos here in the inning, but not before he allows a home run to Tommy Jew, a solo home run, Jew's 4th of the season, and some good days ahead, I think, for Michael Gates. He's got a pretty good-looking arm, Bob.
Yeah, I think he showed something to Coach Hubbs there, and hopefully that pans out well for him down the road.
So we go to the 9th, 11-2 UCSB over USC here on Big West TV, and thanks to Steve Chen down at the Big West Conference for his efforts today as well. So Connor Roberts will take over in the 9th for the Gauchos, and we'll give you Connor's numbers in just a moment.
That's not mobile banking.
Deposit checks on the go with the MBNT banking app. This is mobile banking. Download today.
Passionate and timely matter of our patients. Number Radiology are your trusted experts.
So Connor Roberts on to try to close this one out. 11-2 Gauchos. Roberts making his 5th appearance. He has an 8.44 ERA, 5 1/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Opponents hitting .318 against him. Connor is another one of those young arms that the Gauchos are very excited about. Connor is a freshman, 6'2", 160-pounder from Martinez, went to De La Salle High School, Bob, and De La Salle has turned out a number of outstanding ball players. Michael McAdoo from De La Salle with the Gauchos, but they've also turned out some mighty fine football players and basketball players along the way too, De La Salle. It's up there in Concord in the East Bay.
Yes, De La Salle Spartans, I believe.
Yes.
Because Antonio Vernon, ex-Gaucho, was Spartan of the Decade. Spartan of the Decade, Jerry. Antonio Vernon.
Yeah. Remember, De La Salle had that football winning streak. I think it was 143 straight or something like that. It was more than 140, I know that.
Well, they made movies because of it.
Yep. There's Blake Sable coming to the plate with the Gauchos up 11-2. The team that beat De La Salle to end that streak. Sable has a double, a run-scoring double, and that was in the 4th inning with Bellevue High School up near Seattle.
Well, I knew that. I want you to trivia question me on that one. Instead of giving this Jason Varitek stuff.
That was a question I asked Bob the other day. Jason Varitek is the only player to have ever played in a Little League World Series, a College World Series, a Major League Baseball World Series. And here's Sable hitting one off the end of the bat right to J.J. Muno, out number 1. And to play in the World Baseball Classic. So Little League, College, and Major League Baseball World Series and World Baseball Classic. Varitek's the only one.
And rumor has it he's trying to qualify for the World Series of Poker so he could add another thing to his, so he can ask that trivia question again next year.
Maybe, yes. So here is Aaron Fritz, who will pinch hit here for USC with 1 out in the 9th, and the Gauchos comfortably ahead, 11-2. We'll hear from UCSB coach Andrew Checketts after the game in the coaches' room there where we have our post-game press conferences. AJ, a senior, getting a chance to bat here in this game, and he hits one high in the air to left center, but that is routine for Tommy Jew, who makes the play, and the Gauchos 1 out away from their 23rd victory of the season. A well-played game by UCSB today, that's for sure. Gauchos with 16 hits, 11 runs. USC with 2 runs on just 6 hits, and what a job by Ben Breck. So my 3 players of the game today, Bob, for the Gauchos: Ben Breck, Tommy Jew, and Landon Silver.
Matthew Acosta.
Here's Matthew Acosta now pinch hitting, a freshman outfielder, also a left-handed pitcher for USC. Tommy with his 4th home run, 3 hits today. Silver with 2 hits, including, here's a ground ball to third, and that's off of Corey's glove and into left field. So the game will continue for at least one more batter, unless Fritz gets picked off, but I doubt he's going to get picked off because they're not going to hold him. Up 11-2. But Silver with a base hit, a single, and then a 2-run triple. And what more can you say about Ben Breck? 7 solid innings today. He gave up just 2 runs on 6 hits. And here is Brady Shockey now to try to keep it going for the Trojans, as Roberts delivers a strike, 0-1.
So I gave Brady Shockey's family tree when he was up right before he went out last time, and someone, so sorry the Shockey family if you missed that, but someone did confirm to me that I was accurate in my assessment with his dad, Greg, and Uncle Scott.
JJ on a tough hop is not able to end it as that one not dug out by Austin Bush. And on the play, Fritz goes over to third, so that'll be a base hit. That's 2 hits in the inning as they gave Fritz a single on that ball off the glove of Kenny Corey.
Accurately called on that, I believe. That was a hard hit ball. That was a tough play by Kenny. And it looks like they're going to give that a hit as well.
Oh, yeah. I think we've got a pinch hitter for USC coming up. John Thomas, another freshman.
Freshman number 25, John Thomas.
So John's going to get a chance to hit here. We say hi to Mr. Muno, JJ's dad. That was another great play by JJ there to make that close at first base. And that ball took a very funny hop on JJ as he got to it. And he was shaded toward the bag, so he had to go quite a ways to his right to get that. And here's the pitch, and that one pulled on the ground to the second baseman, Colton Burns. He'll throw to first, and the Gauchos win it 11-2. Bob, for what it's worth, they've actually changed one of those hits to an error. And I don't believe that the error was on JJ's ball. I think that was a tough play. It may have been on Corey's ball.
I'm gonna just to be the devil's advocate or whatever, I'm gonna say the opposite.
All right, well,
that will be our Dr. Pepper challenge.
Yes. So congratulations to Coach Checkins and his team as the Gauchos defeat USC 11-2 here at Cesar Wazaka Stadium in Santa Barbara. It takes the 2 games from the Trojans this season, both of which were played in the last 6 days. The Gauchos beat USC in Los Angeles last Wednesday, and they beat the Trojans handily today, 11-2. The Gauchos will, I'm sorry, Bob, will head to Hawaii.
I was just going to say, this is the true senior day. This is the true last game for a lot of these guys. Mr. Muno just came by. I think he was soaking up every last second he could for his son and getting some video of what is likely. I got to think that he's a drafted guy and will not be back next year. And
I agree with you.
It'll be a big loss because he's the heart and soul of this team, and
we're going to miss them all.
Yeah,
all the ones that go.
Yeah, no question.
I think we've seen Austin Bush play his final home game because somebody's going to sign him and give him some money in a hurry.
Yep. So the Gauchos got their work cut out for them for filling some of these shoes. I know they had a great recruiting class, but let's go out to Hawaii, win some games, and
finish strong.
Finish strong.
Absolutely. Bob, a sincere pleasure to work with you all season. Gaucho Baseball here on Big West TV and UCSBGauchos.com.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really have enjoyed it. I learned a lot from you, and I apologize for all the times I stepped all over you with your words.
That. No,
and I appreciate you laughing at my jokes, the ones that I think were jokes. But it was a pleasure, and I hope to be back again. And
of course you will. But thank you, Bob, very much. And you did wonderfully, and you're a baseball man, true and a good man. True.
My best wishes and thoughts to you on your travels back east to visit.
Thank you.
Your mom, and hope that all goes well.
Thank you, Bob, and best to Johnny as well in his professional career. And we do wish USC the best of luck going forward. It's been a tough year for Coach Hubbs, but he's a classy man, and the Trojans always have a classy program, and so hopefully USC can make some noise in the Pac-12 next season.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Bob. So stay tuned, folks, as we will hear from Coach Checkins here very, very shortly. So stay with us.
against the Trojans today, and certainly a nice way to end the season at Saukey Stadium.
Yeah, nice to play our last game and win it, and play a little bit better. Obviously the weekend was a humbling weekend, and nice to see that we got a response out of our guys, and they came out and continued to play hard. And we haven't been great, but I think we've played hard this year at least, so we can hang our hat on that. But they've continued to give effort. In fact, Ben was good today and did a nice job of filling up the strike zone and giving us a chance by being ahead in the count. And had some nice defensive plays out there. JJ was pretty spectacular at shortstop, I thought, today with his first steps. And Landon Silver had a nice day. First start in a long time. Was able to swing the bat all right, and swung the bat better than all right. He had some nice bats and did a nice job. So, glad it went that way, and then as opposed to the other way.
Coach, how encouraging was it to see Tommy Jude have another spectacular game?
Yeah, he's really had a nice year. He had maybe a 3-week span where he struggled a little bit in conference play. At one point I thought he had a chance to probably be an all-conference type player, but when he had that kind of bad, I'd have to double check his conference numbers, but he had that kind of bad stretch that probably puts him out of the running for that. But I think he's got a chance to come back next year as one of the better center fielders in the conference. And a chance to be an all-conference outfielder next year. He's really come a long ways.
Coach, in all likelihood, this was probably Austin Bush's final season with Saukey Stadium game. I think everybody's expecting him to get drafted. And can you talk about him leaving his mark on this place one more time with his 18th home run, which ties him for tops all time in single season, and what he's meant to this year and last year?
Yeah, even last year. I mean, when we made that postseason run last year, I think our team ERA in the postseason was somewhere around 2.4, and we really struggled offensively. Actually, when you look at the numbers, I think we hit around 250 in the postseason. Is that close, Wags? Am I close on that? But Austin provided a lot of the offense when we were playing some of those teams, and kind of felt like he was our offense for a lot of the postseason. And he's been that way for us a lot this year, where he's been able to take over a game and change games with the power. So he missed that one again today. I mean, he hit that one and hit it out again. And he's had three of his last 4 homers. He's hit a little bit. It says how strong he is. And he's also been able to stay on plane a little bit longer and gets away with a few more hits because he's on plane a little bit longer. But he sure has been spectacular for us in the middle lineup, and a force, and one of the scariest guys on the West Coast. So I was kind of hoping that he'd hit another one here tonight and break the record, because Hawaii's a little bit more difficult to hit at. Hopefully we'll get maybe some trade ones that are blown out to right, and I know he can hit it out of anywhere, so it's not that he can't hit it out of anywhere, but he's not going to be able to hit any and hit it out there, I think. So.
Coach, you had 3 freshman outfielders today. So how encouraging is it to see them not only play well, not only have put together some great at-bats, but also play well with them?
Yeah, we feel good about some of those key pieces that have a chance to come back for the next 2 years and be big offensive players for us. Armani and Tommy, and then Landon, who in the fall looked like he was going to be actually the star of the group, and then kind of faded a little bit. The game started moving a little fast, which it does for a lot of freshmen, and moved a little bit fast on him during the year. But he was really worked hard and kept grinding and continued to work it. He reminds me of Andrew Kalika from a work ethic perspective. Andrew was really diligent and worked hard, and Landon does that. So I think it's going to work out for him in the long run. But yeah, that's encouraging to beat USC. Even if they're having a down year, to beat them with 3 freshmen in the outfield and the freshmen on the mound. I think that's encouraging for the future.
Coach, can you talk about Landon's approaches today? Opposite field, triple to right. I know that you and Coach Walton always preach looking the other way, taking outside pitches the other way, or down to the count with 2 strikes, just looking to put the ball in play. It looked like he really did a nice job doing that. Can you kind of talk about that, given the fact that he hasn't had a lot of at-bats, that he looked very fundamentally sound today?
Yeah, besides base running. Actually, at the plate, he looked fundamentally sound. I'll give him I'll give him a mulligan on that. He hasn't been on base for a while, so some of that stuff was moving a little bit fast for him. My favorite at bat for him of the day is when he walked, because he has traditionally chased those pitches and struggled in those situations when he gets to 2 strikes, and that's kind of been an issue for him. And the fact that he was able to work that at bat and didn't chase a number of pitches that were just a little bit out of the zone, I thought was a big step for him. And we know he can hammer some fastballs. We know if somebody throws him a fastball elevated early in the count, he's got a chance to hammer him, and he did that. He hit some balls hard, but to be able to work counts and not chase is showing some of the maturity that the maturation process that he's gone through to get there. So hopefully he'll continue to progress and continue to move in the right direction, because the bat speed's it's real bat speed, and it's a real swing.
What did you think of Ben Breck today, Coach? What really stood out to you with his 7 innings?
Yeah, I had a couple at bats where he had to come back, where he fell behind and wasn't strike one, and some 3-0, 3-1 counts, 2-0 counts that he came back and got hitters out. And they were in situations where I thought the momentum of the game could have shifted because we had scored, and they got a base runner on for one of them. We fell behind in the count, and they had a chance to get a little bit of momentum, but he was able to get back in the strike zone and execute some pitches and get them out. And I think that's a big step for our program even this year, because we've struggled being able to do that and kind of stop even that negative momentum within a count. So he was able to do that. Said it a bunch, man. When we get his stuff propped up, it's got a chance to be the real deal, because there's fastball command and a slippery, sneaky fastball, and the changeup's gotten better. The slider every once in a while he throws a pretty good one, but I think if we can get 4, 5, 6 miles an hour, which I think it's in his arm on him, I think he's got a chance to be pretty special.
Coach, thank you. Thanks for all of your time this year on these post-game press conferences. We really appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck in Hawaii.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for putting this on, and your crew and all the professional work. I know everybody appreciates it and likes the work you've done.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
What a job the Gauchos did today behind Ben Breck, and we really thank Ben very, very much. And we appreciate Ben, Coach Checketts and his comments about Ben Breck, and about all of his players who played very, very well today. And again, just a solid job by Ben Breck, and solid job by the Gauchos. And it would have been nice to see Austin Bush break the all-time record here for home runs in a single season with 19. But we'll see if he can do that in Hawaii. But Austin hits his home run today. And now we need Eddie. This is our great crew here, folks. From left to right, you have Diego, you have Greg, you have Grace, you have Trevor, and you have Colin. Bring Eddie out, guys. There he is. There's Eddie, our director. And we thank those guys more than you'll ever know. I can't give them enough thanks, and they've just been wonderful. And with this group today, and all season long, not just baseball, but basketball and soccer as well. Thank you guys very, very much. So that'll do it. We'll leave you with the group shot here. The Gauchos win it 11-2, and thank you again to Bob Bronsma and to Steve Chen with the Big West Conference, and thank you to John McCutcheon, our great athletic director, and Tom Hastings, Deputy Athletic Director under the boss, John McCutcheon. Thank you all very much. 11-2, the Gauchos win it. Game 1 of the series brought to you by, it'll be brought to you audio only by Kevin Cannon. Will be Thursday night in Hawaii. The Hawaii series begins Thursday night at 9:30 Santa Barbara time. Friday, I beg your pardon, at 9:30, and Saturday is an afternoon game. So long from Caesar Wasaka Stadium, everybody.